you kings, queens, and those in between, and welcome to episode 24 of the Busted Limes podcast. I'm your host, Paresh Maharaj, and I was a liar last episode. Black Belt will not be joining us this time around because of the aforementioned cool things that we have all been working on. And speaking of cool things we've been working on, my current guest can attest to the things that we are working on are indeed very cool. JD, tell them how cool the things we're working on are.
The things we're working on are very cool.
Thank you, JD. And yes, JD's back.
Back
again. JD's back. Tell some friends. JD's back. JD's back. JD's back. JD's back. JD's back.
JD's back. JD's back. Na 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 na. It's a good thing we don't monetize this because we get demonetized so quick.
I was just gonna say, JD, no, we'll be demonetized. But JD, I would say long time no see, but we've been seeing a lot of each other lately.
Yeah, in fact, as of this recording, we literally saw each other 2 nights ago.
Right. And you spent one of those nights just refreshing your memory on the subject of our discussion for today, which is, I'll let you take the floor for this one.
Well, listeners, technically it was a night. I actually refreshed myself this morning, because time is a weird thing when you work overnight. So yeah, that's a thing. But anyway, today we are discussing the 2022 Dan Trachtenberg joint, Prey, the latest entry in the long-running Predator franchise.
Yeah, and from what we have seen, it is a general consensus that this is going to be the standard for Predator movies going forward.
This fucking better be.
Oh my god, for sure.
And we'll get into why. Why.
But for right now, let's start with I like to start with from small beginnings first. So my history with the Predator franchise has really been very limited. I think this is only the 4th movie in the franchise that I've seen. The other 3 being, of course, the original with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I think it was called Predators with Adrian Brody. Yeah, and also the remake that Shane Black did, which I was not a fan of.
Most people weren't. Yeah. I have seen the same amount, except I haven't seen Predators, although I still plan to. The one I have seen though was Alien vs. Predator.
Oh, okay. Well, if we're counting that one, then yeah,
Yes, we have to count this one. Fine. And when we're talking about both the Alien and Predator franchises, we should remember that there are 2 crossover movies.
Yeah, and I've seen both, so that's 6.
So you've seen one more than I have.
Wow. Okay.
So the only one you haven't seen is Predator 2 with Danny Glover.
I may have seen it, but it was way too long ago. I barely remember anything from it. Yeah, the only thing I remember is that Danny Glover is in it. And well, yeah, with that out of the way, let's just dive right into a plot synopsis here.
So I'm pulling this straight from Letterboxd, so I don't have to dive through Wikipedia to try and find a plot synopsis, because for some reason people don't put plot synopsises on synopsises. I don't know. Synopses. I don't. The English language is fucked up. They don't put them on Wikipedia like they used to. They bury it in the giant plot description. So anyway, right. Prey is for Prey. On the Great Plains in 1719, Naru, a fierce and highly skilled Comanche warrior, sets out to protect her people when an unknown danger threatens them. But the prey she's stalking turns out to be a highly evolved alien predator with a technically advanced arsenal. And I gotta say, as much as I love the original McTiernan film, like I fucking love that movie. Prey almost is my favorite. Is my favorite. It's almost my favorite. Like I don't believe Predator. I still hold Predator to like on a high, as like a high watermark in cinema for me. Prey is just like a hair below it. In regards to its placement in action movie history. So, I mean, just I fucking love this movie. It's just there's no getting around it. So something I want to talk about is how this movie plays with horror and like because Predator, people don't generally like talk about it being a horror movie, but it's a horror movie. It's a slasher movie.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm probably in that class as well. I'm the class of people who say it's more of an action movie with horror elements in it.
Yeah. So the best way to talk about Predator in regards to the action and horror genre, I have to defer to the wonderful video that Patrick Willems did back in early 2020 when he was during that talk show era when he was stuck at his parents' house.
Yes.
He did a full video on like
the original Predator.
Yeah, on the original Predator. When like he watched it for the first time in its entirety during quarantine and realized it was what is known as a gear shift movie. Other movies that are in that that fall under that term are movies like Audition, Boogie Nights, a recent favorite of mine, Knives Out. I think a recent favorite of everyone's favorite. Knives Out is incredible. I have my tickets to go see Glass Onion. I'm so fucking pumped. But Predator is a gear shift movie in that it literally just smooshes together two of the most highly acclaimed or two highly successful genres at the time in the 80s, because the original Predator came out in 1987, and the thing is, by 1987, horror, specifically slasher movies and action movies, were becoming stale, because by that point we had let's see, by 1987 we had at least by the time we had 6 going on 7 Jason movies. We had, I want to say 3, maybe 4 Nightmare on Elm Street movies. We had I think Hellraiser 2 just came out. We had
Jesus.
Yeah, I think we had like 4 Halloween movies. We also
basically had a whole glut of every slasher franchise from the past decade.
Yes, and that's just the franchises. I'm not even into the solo movies like April Fool's Day, Happy Birthday to Me, Chopping Mall, The Burning, Girls' Night Out, Graduation Day, Night School. There's all these, just the whole plethora of slashers. And the thing is that they're basically like people felt they were becoming stale. There were like some pieces of light. I think a big highlight was definitely Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives, my personal favorite of the entire franchise, because it doesn't play like a typical Jason movie. And then on the other side, you have action movies where with those action movies, they are just giant beefcake dudes just mowing down everybody. And the franchise not franchise, but like the genre like hit its like peak in that way with Commando, which is incredible. Commando was awesome. We can't deny this. Patrick agrees with me. But the thing is that like there was no basically what it came down to with both genres, with both action movies and slasher movies, is that there were no longer stakes for the main characters, or in regards to like in action movies, there was no longer stakes for the main character to die or to get injured. Like if you go back a decade earlier, we had movies like The French Connection, or Bullet, where movies where like our action heroes look like Steve McQueen or Clint Eastwood. They didn't look like Sylvester Stallone or Dolph Lundgren or Arnold Schwarzenegger. And then in our slasher movies, there was really no stakes for the killer to be stopped, or the teenagers, the horny teenagers, to get into, like we didn't care about them anymore. So what John and Jim Thomas did as writers, and John McTiernan did as a director, was to take the two genres, push and just splice them together, along with a good helping of science fiction monster extravaganza, and like if you want and make a whole new thing that would revitalize both genres in a way, or like try something new with both genres, in that, because like the Predator is just is just a slasher. It's a killer from a slasher movie, and
quite literally.
Yeah, and then all of the special forces guys that are led by Arnold Schwarzenegger, they're all the stand-ins for the horny teenagers. They go in and they go into a place that it has now become the hunting grounds for a slasher, mm-hmm. a place that they were led to under false pretenses, and now they have to fight their way out, and they're picked off one by one. But to make it interesting is that when we first are introduced to the entire crew, they're massive beefcake dudes. And they're like, it's like we are, and they come in with the attitude of we are hot shit, nothing will take us down. And within the first 30 minutes, we are shown that with like a giant action set piece where they take where they take names and kick ass. Like they are hot shit.
Yeah.
And then they get picked off one by one, and like going to show that's like, nah, they're not hot shit, not right now. There's something bigger and badder out there, something bigger and badder than them. That's where Predator stands for me, and within action cinema, horror cinema in general. That's where it sits. Is a movie that was trying to bring new life to these two genres. I keep wanting to say franchise. These two genres that had become stale in the mostly American cinema market. Cut to it being a franchise decades later, and now the franchise needs revitalization once again. The franchise itself needs revitalization because we had Predator 2 like a couple years after, and again, I haven't seen it, but I've heard it's fine. And I'll probably watch it eventually. We didn't get another thing, and like there were years and years because like Predator had crossovers with everything. There was a Batman versus Predator crossover comic, which I've heard is actually really, really good. So
I mean,
that's on my list to read it at some point.
I feel like you'd have to try to screw that up.
Yeah, and then we had the aforementioned Alien versus Predator movies, which we don't need to talk about those.
No.
Except that Sanaa Lathan is in the first one, and she's awesome. Then there's the Nimrod Antel movie Predators with Adrian Brody and Lawrence Fishburne and Michelle Rodriguez. And you have seen it. I have not.
It's honestly pretty good. It's not bad.
And again, it's on my list to watch. And then we have Shane Black's The Predator, which listeners, look, I really wanted to like that movie. In fact, I own it on Blu-ray. It's not good, but it's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, I hate to use this word, but it really is mid.
Yeah, it is. It is very okay. I'm like, you know what? I really want Shane Black to just stick to buddy movies. And like please give that man the money to make a Nice Guys sequel. That's what I want.
Yes.
A Nice Guys franchise, actually. Like let him just continue making movies, like him and Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe. Just let them make movies for like the next 10 years. That's all they got to do. And then the news came in that 10 Cloverfield Lane himself, Dan Trachtenberg, was on board to direct a new Predator movie with a female lead. Not just that, a indigenous female lead, and it was going to be set 300 years ago.
Yes, the shot in the arm that this franchise needed. A change in setting, a change in everything, basically. Even the Predator's design, but
yeah. I mean, like the Predator, like for the most part, is exactly the same except for the mask that it wears.
The mask,
yeah. Because like there is the iconic like metal looking mask that is worn in, I believe, every single movie where the Predator appears. Excuse me, but this one he's got like a skull like mask to I'd say to like match the skulls that he keeps as souvenirs.
Oh, absolutely.
Listeners, we love this movie dearly.
God, it is so damn good.
Yeah. So I'd say let's actually dive into talking about the movie.
Right. Yes, absolutely. So yeah, as you said, this movie follows the Predator. Well, in a nutshell, this is a Predator movie, but instead of oiled up 80s action stars, the Predator is up against the Comanche tribe. But of course, that's just a hook. A hook can only get you so far.
Mm-hmm.
A hook needs some meat to sink itself into. If that makes any bit of goddamn sense, because I just came up with it off the top of my head.
Mm-hmm. I'd say this is actually like less a Predator movie and more of a Naru movie, because it's more about like, and I think that like what works so well, like what is how that what makes that so evident here is the fact that the movie's not called Predator, it's called Prey. And like, she starts out as prey, and then but the thing is that she herself is a predator. She is a hunt. Like, this is a hunter versus hunter movie.
The anime fans in the audience just giggled.
Hunter x Hunter. There you go.
Yes.
That was for all of you fans.
Yes.
And it's still an anime that I have not watched, but I have appreciation for.
But yeah, going back to what you said, I put it another way, I feel like it's a coming of age story for Naru, because her whole character arc is becoming the hunter that she wants to be.
Yeah, and being recognized as that.
Because yeah, let's talk about those early scenes where we're introduced to her. Because talk about showing and not telling. Because we show that she's already competent, but not perfect. Because God forbid Mary Sue gets thrown around so much these days. Yes,
I'm gonna pause really quick and just give like a 10-second rant. If any of you motherfuckers use the term Mary Sue on literally every single female lead who shows any level of competence in regards to using technology or fighting skills or just basic common sense, you can fuck right the fuck off. You are at the bottom of the barrel of humanity.
And yes, obviously I co-sign on all of that. And but yeah, those early scenes, she's shown already being a capable fighter and tracker. She's later shown to be adaptable, which we'll get into later. But we're also introduced to the second most important character in the movie, her dog, Sari.
Sari. So look, there is a long history of dogs being fucking great in movies. I think we can definitely look back on The Thing as having probably the best dog acting of all time. I think the dog in Crawl was great as well. This dog is top tier. This dog, like 10 out of 10.
Right up there with the dog from Love and Monsters.
Yes, dog from Love and Monsters is awesome as well. Going back to my first appearance on this show, yeah.
She's basically, her whole character it's a very standard character arc, honestly. But I'm of the school of thought that character arcs or tropes don't become overdone until they've had equal time to play with other protagonists who aren't heterosexual white men.
We gotta give it up to, we haven't even said Naru is played by Amber Midthunder, who is an indigenous actor. I actually have known about her for a while, but only because she has made multiple appearances on the show Longmire. In fact, she was in the very first episode of the show, and she would later go on to pop up every once in a while. I gotta say, Longmire is one of those shows where, like, yeah, it's a show about a white sheriff in Wyoming, but it has a massive indigenous cast in all across that show. It's where I first saw Zahn McLaren, who is now in the show Dark Winds, which is getting a second season. Hell yes. And it was also Crow Daddy in Dr. Sleep. And one of those words definitely describes how I feel about that man. You can guess which one.
Going back to Naru for a sec, she's basically going through that whole phase of, Mom, I want to prove myself, but you all won't let me because you're all being sexist assholes.
The surly teenager phase. I'm so glad I skipped over that and was instead just like the one that was like, Mom, I just want to stay in my room and watch movies and listen to Metallica.
I think the song "Ride the Lightning" would have been playing as Naru stands on the edge of a cliff and notices the Predator spacecraft, which I really loved how tastefully this one was handled, because it's all too often it would have been so easy to just fall into the whole like mystic indigenous person stereotype. But honestly, given the circumstances, if I had been seen that spaceship in modern times, I probably would have thought the same thing.
Like, this is some mythical shit that I like that like I am not on like that is on another level above me.
Right. Which is basically how Naru interprets it. She interprets it specifically as the sign of the Thunderbird, which she brings us up to her mother that I've seen the sign.
Mm-hmm.
This is my chance to prove myself.
She brings it up to her brother.
A brother first. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. But I believe his name is Tabe.
Tabe,
I think is
Tabe,
yes. Yeah, I think that's how you pronounce his name.
Mm-hmm.
The one I will say, my one issue with this movie is that sometimes like I think like the names are very rarely spoken, and they're names that I'm unfamiliar with in my day-to-day life. Exactly. So I have a difficult time trying to remember them. The only reason I remember Naru is because that name is spoken multiple times.
Oh yeah. And don't worry about it. I've got all their names pulled up right here.
Yeah. Their brother, played by Dakota Beavers, he is great.
Yes, he is excellent. Excellent. Very believable older sibling, I believe.
Yes, her older brother.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
So after he takes some convincing, but Naru eventually convinces him to take her on to go track down a mountain lion. But
yes, because they're already about to go on a mission to save someone from their group from the nation who has been attacked by who they assume has been attacked by a lion. He's been gone for some time, so they go out. Naru follows them, which everyone else in the hunting party is like go the fuck back. We don't need a cook. And Tabe is like, well, hold on a second. Like she's a great she's the best tracker we have. Also, whatever happened to him, she knows medicine, so she's going to be very helpful. So we need to bring her. So she eventually does lead them to the man that they're looking for. She uses her medicine knowledge that her mother's been, and we also established that her mother has been teaching her whole life. There's a great little moment where Naru points out hey, you missed something in this concoction that you're making.
Mm-hmm.
And then that act is when that is then brought up again. It's I'm blanking on what it was called. It was it's an orange flower.
Oh man,
that crush it.
I forgot the name too. Yeah,
but you crush up the petals, and if you eat them, it cools your body.
Yes,
and slows it cools your body, mm-hmm. slows your heart, and it helps us slow blood flow. Therefore, cutting off the bleed. So therefore, just to help stop the bleeding.
Because if there's anything that you need to absolutely have to survive at a Predator movie, it's how to hide your body heat.
Yes, and so this is actually one of two things that was basically was rule of threes set up for the end of the movie, which I'm actually right now blanking on it, which I'll remember the other one as we go along. I'm sure, but this one is first set up here with the showing the orange flower, mm-hmm. and showing us what that does,
which is very important because honestly, if without that introductory scene, that would have come out of nowhere later. But yeah, we'll get into that when we get to it.
So they go off, and then Naru finds the track of the Predator, because earlier we did have a moment where the Predator is basically because we all know at this point we even if you don't know why the Predator has come to Earth, this movie tells you pretty quickly like what the Predator's whole deal is, which is just to basically find the most dangerous game and hunt it. It is like the ultimate hunter and is just trying to find the ultimate prey. So we have like a little scene where like a mouse goes after an ant, and then a snake goes after the mouse. So then the Predator goes after the snake and rips and like just straight up rips the fucking spine out of a snake. A lot of spine ripping in this movie, and I'm all here for it. I love a good spine ripping moment in a movie.
For sure.
And we get that a plint. Like there's also later one with a rabbit that is chased by a wolf, and then the wolf gets attacked by a predator. Which, I mean, it was a little rough to see like a wolf get decapitated like and spine and de-spined, but it was still pretty fun.
Oh cool. Yeah, it's really cool. Oh, trust me, I felt no sympathy for that wolf because I saw The Grey with Liam Neeson.
Hey, you know what? Yeah. Good movie. Great movie.
Great movie.
Yeah. So yeah. Naru, Tabe, and one other dude who is a fucking asshole. They go off to. I'm sorry. What was his name?
Pake. Paake.
Pake. Thank you, Pake. So Tabe, Pake, and Naru, they go off to find the line. They are able to find the den, and Naru comes up with a plan of basically like lure the lion to this large tree that they will stand ready for, and once the lion comes, they kill it. Naru and Pake are in the tree, while Tabe goes to kill, I'm assuming, a rabbit or some small creature in the forest to and is like wringing the blood out into a path to get to the tree. Pake is being very insulting toward Naru, saying that like, he's like, you're not ready for the lion to come and all this stupid bullshit. And then the lion comes and kills Pake, like immediately, which I'm like, honestly, thank you, lion. You're good. You're doing the Lord. You're doing good work here.
Yes,
I appreciate that. And then Naru tries to attack it, and then because she's on the end of a branch, falls as she stabs the lion with her spear, and then falls
and hits her
straight onto a rock, and which conks her out. And then we cut to her waking up in her teepee with her mother, and her mother saying that Tabe went back out to find the lion. He had to carry you back. He then brings back the body and decapitated head of the lion.
Yep.
And he is and I believe he's declared war chief. I believe
I think that's what that was. Yeah.
Yeah, she does it. She after the ceremony that takes place, she does like in a mocking way calls him war chief. So I believe that's what's going on here. And she's pissed,
pissed enough that she goes off on her own solo mission this time to find whatever it was that skinned that snake, because and whatever it is that left those huge ass tracks. Because there's something, she understood that there's something more dangerous out there, and she's going to go find it.
Yep, and we get more visual storytelling of just her going off and doing shit.
Yeah.
And she gets a little bit of an innovation with her axe, and she's got an axe that she has, it was like given to her by, I believe, her grandfather, which was like given to her to cut root, but she has sharpened it to use as a weapon. And after trying to catch a rabbit and failing, she realizes what she can do is she makes basically, as someone points out, a leash for her axe. She makes rope for her axe, and she becomes very proficient in using that axe by
like freaking
throwing it, bringing it back.
It's straight up God of War style, like the Blades of Chaos. She put a rope on the edge of an axe, and she could throw it and bring it back.
Yeah, and then cut to her carrying like 4 dead rabbits, and it's like,
which is amazing.
And now we see why she did this. Or
Yes.
now we see how well it worked. It's like we know why she did it. Now we see how well it worked. We see the fruits of her labor, and she continues out. I think that this is around the time we also get the wolf, the predator and wolf scene. We then have then this whole time the other hunters of the nation have been saying, "Oh, it's just a bear. The tracks are just a very large bear." Well, she does come across a bear by a river.
Oh, wait, hang on.
So she decides.
But before that, we have the mud pit scene.
With the mud pit scene,
which I think
is gonna come back. We have the mud pit scene where she is able to pull herself out because she's very resourceful, and she's got that axe with the rope, and she's able to pull herself out. So she's able to get out from there, and then right after that, and also this is when her bowstring got wet and it snaps off the bow, and that alerts when she tries to shoot an arrow at the bear, which that alerts the bear. Bear comes to attack. Saudi is a badass and takes the attention off of Naru for her to
hide at a beaver dam.
Yeah, well, she has to hide into a beaver dam because she can't use the bow, and the bear is not fucking stopping.
No,
this is a big bear, and then the predator shows up.
Oh god! And what is I think my favorite scene in the whole movie, where this the bear puts up a fight, but the predator just absolutely the predator is able to adapt and learn the bear's, gauge its strength, and gauge its power, gauge its moves. It just
straight up punches the bear to death.
Yes,
just whoop, one punch
right in the neck, and then as if that weren't enough, we get a little bit of the predator's personality here. It lifts the bear above itself and then bathes itself in its blood.
Yep, and that's when Naru sees, because this whole time the predator has been invisible. Now she sees what has been making those tracks, and she's like, "Oh fuck this! I'm getting out of here because I'm not prepared for this yet." Which also I'm just like, "Girl, same. I'm not prepared for it either."
And afterwards, she runs off. She finds another group of Comanche who are sent, a search party that was sent to find her. And I mean, it's a predator movie. What do you have? What else is going to happen when you have a whole crowd of nameless characters just gathering at one spot after you just saw the slasher kill a bear?
The predator comes and fucking murders all
of them because equal opportunity representation means you get slaughtered just like anyone else would by the predator.
Also, fuck them. They were assholes. Except for the one who went out to take a leak.
Oh yeah.
And also, he was the only one who wasn't acting like a full on dick to her. So it's like, yeah, he survives for a bit. That was able to escape the slaughter of the search party. She gets to an open field. Also, actually, something we did skip over was she finds a whole field of slaughtered skinned buffalo.
Yeah, not just slaughtered and skinned.
And a big thing we know today that has been that is well known is that a big part of the buffalo is that you can use every aspect of the buffalo, and in fact, it is, and basically it was to honor the buffalo. You don't kill the buffalo for one thing. You kill the buffalo. When you kill the buffalo, you must use every part of it, and you can. Every part of the buffalo is and also that's also just every animal. Every animal, there are things that you honor the animal by
not wastefully having it. Not waste. Yeah,
you kill it, but it's not a waste.
Yeah, but you don't wastefully kill. And the reason why
which is exactly what the French trappers, what we find out later are French trappers. That's exactly what they've done to the buffalo.
Yeah, and can I just say that we were talking about how this is a refreshing change of pace for the whole genre. French gets the scary foreign language treatment in this movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and actually, so something we also haven't talked about yet is there is a Comanche dub for the movie, which I haven't watched yet. I've watched the movie twice. I haven't watched it in Comanche just yet. But actually, this is something that I would say. Well, let's get to it real quick. So she escapes the predator for a second. She is pulled down to safety in this large field by the one guy from the searching party who did survive because he was off taking a leak.
Mm-hmm.
Predator shows up and they start running. Not fast enough because Predator fucking rips apart the dude.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, we had this big wide shot of the field with Naru running and then just blood spraying far and wide. Just big old splatters of blood, and it's awesome to see. This movie fucking looks incredible. Jeff Cutter did an amazing job shooting this movie. And then call back to a trap that Saudi got his tail stuck in earlier. Naru gets her leg stuck in a trap.
Yeah.
And the predator doesn't attack her.
Right.
Just walks away. And then the French trappers show up, and they're speaking French, and there's no subtitles. We don't know what the fuck's going on. We're scared. Like she's scared. We're scared. She gets knocked the fuck out. And then she wakes up. It is now nighttime, and she is in a cage, and the French are like taunting her. She fights back because, fuck these assholes.
Right.
What we're thinking, what she's thinking. And then someone comes up and starts speaking in English and saying, I know many languages. Now, this is kind of a callback to something that John McTiernan has done multiple times in his movies, specifically in The Hunt for Red October and The 13th Warrior, where he will have it's like for example in the 13th Warrior, this one's I think is a little easier to explain. So the main character in the 13th Warrior is Middle Eastern and is Muslim, and he travels to Northern Europe, and he encounters Vikings. Now throughout the movie has been speaking English. The Vikings are speaking in their native language. And over time, you start to hear the Vikings saying English words. They're peppered throughout their sentences. And it's because the main character is starting to understand what they're saying. And eventually, everyone starts speaking English because now he understands their language.
Nice.
And they're on the same level. So here, this, to me, for me, the way I've been looking at it is that throughout this movie, the characters, yes, we are hearing them speak English, but they're not speaking English. I believe they're speaking Comanche.
Yeah.
In their own world. And here, whenever they're speaking, you have these trappers speaking French, and there's no subtitles. That's because we are following the story. We were following the story with Naru. She doesn't know the language. We're not going to know it either. She doesn't know what they're saying. We're not going to know what they're saying either. So then all of a sudden, someone comes up speaking her language. Now we know what they're saying.
Right.
And basically saying, you know what's out there. You should help us because they killed her entire search party. And she is not speaking because fuck these assholes.
Exactly. So.
And then they reveal Tabe got kidnapped.
So now they've got both Naru and Tabe, and since Naru is refusing to cooperate, well, they tie both her and Tabe up to a tree to use as bait. Here's the thing, though. The predator does not want to be fed. It wants to hunt. So it prioritizes the people who set the traps as opposed to the people who are actually trapped.
And those French trappers get fucked up.
One of them takes a bear trap to the face.
A bear trap. Okay, so look, this year in RRR, we got someone threw a tiger at another character in the movie.
Okay,
and it's and look, it's an incredible moment. It was a moment of pure cinema. In this movie, we get a bear trap to the face. Also, a moment of pure cinema. This movie fucking slaps.
Oh my god, for sure. But we haven't even gotten to the slappiest part of this scene, which is Tabe says the line.
He says the line. He says the Arnie line, which I was like, I was kind of wondering. I was like, are they gonna reference how are they gonna reference the other movie, the original movie? Because you got to Dan. I was like, I know who Dan Trachtenberg is. He's like, I get what kind of director he is. He's got to reference the original. And what does he do? He has a moment where Naru and Tabe are tied to this. Excuse me, they're tied to this tree. They're discussing what's gonna happen. And Naru says, she's like, I don't know if I can kill it. And Tabe says,
if it bleeds, we can kill it.
Oh, so good.
Oh, and another poignant thing that happens during this scene is Tabe actually gives Naru credit, or partial credit, for helping him kill the mountain lion. He says because if the mountain lion hadn't been weakened by what Naru did, by stabbing it with the spear, then he wouldn't have been able to kill it. And that is just so impactful.
It's like a moment, a moment of recognition between the two is so touching. And then she once again proves how intelligent she is, and she grabs one of the bear traps and drops a rock on it, and that cuts one of the ropes that has them tied around the tree. I love her telling the story of I saw a beaver get trapped and it shoot its own leg off to get to be free.
Yeah, and Tommy just where are you going with this?
No. He's like no, because he thinks what we were all thinking.
Yeah.
And then he just cuts the rope, and she just has the line. She just simply says, "I'm smarter than the beaver."
Yeah.
Which also, I gotta say, is also very funny because, again, the actor playing Tabe, his last name is Beavers.
Oh God, wow, yeah, that's.
Do not tell me that wasn't planned. Do not tell me that wasn't there for a fucking reason. Because the thing is, you could use any other animal. You could use a wolf. You could use a fox.
Coyote.
You could coyote. Anything. No, she said beaver. There's a reason.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, so that mind blowing.
I'm sorry, I said Dustin Beavers. It was Dakota Beavers. I don't know if I said Dustin. It is Dakota Beavers.
Oh.
If I misspoke his name, I'm sorry. Is Dakota Beavers.
Got it.
But it still stands. His last name is Beavers, right. And that line slaps.
Yes. Oh yeah. And then, so where do we go from there?
She goes back to the camp, the camp where a few of the trappers are still there. I think two or three trappers are still they're rushing around grabbing their things.
She goes back because Sari is still being.
Because Sari is still there, and she fucks up all these trappers. It's awesome. Yeah. She gets her axe back
in one unbroken shot, which I love.
Yes, and she's able to get Sari, and then the one trapper who she's able to speak to, he shows up. He's got his foot is cut off.
Yeah, just severed. He's got a belt tourniquet around it and everything.
Yep, and he asks for her help at gunpoint, and then realizes that gunpoint's not going to work, so he surrenders the gun and basically in exchange for help tells her that he will teach her how to use the gun, which he does. He tells her what to do, and what I love is that she never fires the gun. She
fires it once, but the first time she fired it, she botches it badly. Because so many steps honestly, I was thinking to myself, just I swear to God, if she gets it right on the first try, that's kind of going to take me out of it just a little bit. But
Yeah.
no, she skips so many steps. Which,
Yeah.
given the situation, same. I mean,
Yeah. This is a fucking insane situation. But Tabe shows up on horseback, starts fucking shit up. It's awesome. And then, yeah, and also this is when we get the reminder of the orange flower, because
yes,
the man she gives him the orange flower to slow it to again cool his body, slow down the bleeding, to help him survive. And he starts playing dead, and then we cut to the predator coming in, and we cut to his POV. We get to his POV, and he has thermal imaging, and he can't see the guy because his body's cooled down. And she notices this. She notices that he thinks something is there, and then he just steps on the guy. He screams because he's still alive, obviously, and then gets knife hand to the fucking head, which is awesome.
Man, talk about getting dealt a shorthand, man. Just in a fictional sense, just like he was almost there. He did which I feel like that's the kind of deaths you have to have in horror movies these days now. The ones where the characters do everything right, but they still something happens beyond their control, and they still end up getting murked. And this guy, he did everything right. He took the flower. He played dead, stayed completely still, and only moved because because the fucking 220-pound predator stepped on his bloody stump.
I'm looking at you, Smile, you wonderful, wonderful movie. Everyone see Smile. It's a great movie.
I need to see it. I've heard nothing but good things.
So good. Yeah. When Robbie and I walked out of the theater, he looked at me and he said, because we had also, I think either the week before or like 2 weeks before, we had seen Barbarian. And he said Barbarian was like anxiety. Like he's like the entire movie was anxiety. This movie was dread. And he compared it to The Shining, which I have to agree with. That's how Smile works. Like it's very jump scare heavy in the first half, which I think was by design, and then it just becomes dreamlike by the end. It is wild. Yeah. Love that movie.
You know what's even wilder? Tabe's last stand.
Dude, God. So this is the other thing I was thinking of that had a setup and payoff. So way before, when he and Naru are talking about like with the Pake is there, but he's not really part of this conversation. Like when they're talking about how to get the line, something that was talked about earlier, when we first are introduced to Tabe is katamiya, which is basically like a rite of passage for hunters in their nation. And this was and Tabe says, this is it. Like this is your katamiya. This is your rite of passage right here. And he has the line of you're like what you're gonna do, like you're gonna tell the lion, this is it for you. You go no further, and you go no further. This is it.
Yes.
And then we cut. So now cut to where we are now, where Tabe realizes what's about to happen, and he realizes that Nada is gonna be the one to stop this. And he says that exact line about himself, and he says, "This is the end of the line for me. This is as far as I go. No more. And then he dies, and it's so, and sound cuts out. It is heart-wrenching to watch.
Yeah.
And Naru and Sari are able to escape. Predator almost gets to him, but Tabe grabs I think he grabs the dog's, like the wolf skull from earlier that was like attached to the Predator's back, and like stabs him in the leg to give Naru just enough time to disappear.
Yeah.
And she does. She and Sari get away. We're then shown kind of a a juxtaposition of reactions between Naru and her mother receiving the news that her son has died, which I'm not sure exactly how that works. I'm sure that there is a way they figured it out.
Yeah, at this point, if you're not on board with the movie at this point, then you were never on board.
Yeah, whatever. But we have like the two of them basically having the same reactions of just like this person that we care about so deeply has left the world, and we're just gonna have to sit here for a second and mourn. And then mourning time is over because she looks across the river where she's at, and from her little hiding spot, and she sees the main fur trapper, the one who knocked her out, the one who's been smoking cigars, and has been is just fucking like I've been calling the French trappers fucking assholes. This one is the fucking asshole. Yeah. Fuck this guy. Fuck this guy. And she comes up, knocks his ass out,
cuts his leg off
using, because she pulls off of the other guy who got his foot cut off. She pulled off the little mechanism that the Predator used.
Yeah.
It looks like a centipede knife in a way.
Yeah.
And then he throws it and it just wraps around someone and cuts whatever it wraps around.
Yeah.
Look, all the things that the Predator has, like, if I was, like, in some, like, wasteland apocalypse, I want all of them. Give me all the things the Predator has. Give me everything.
Yeah.
Like, the giant shield that can cut people's heads off. Give me that shit. Yeah. Like, holy fuck. Like, movie rules. So she gives this guy, like, cuts his leg off with that thing. She uses the soot from a wood to put war paint on. And she gives this speech basically saying, she's like, you bled my brother, you took everything from me. You think that you don't see me as a threat, that I'm not dangerous, and that's what makes me dangerous. Oh, it's and she's like, you think that you've the hunter, but you are being hunted. Like, just action movie lines that she fucking eats up. She is eating the fucking. She is not chewing the scenery. She is devouring the scenery in this moment
in the best possible way. Yeah.
Yeah. And what's so great is that he goes to reach for the gun, and it's not loaded. It clicks, and I'm like, oh, hell yeah. So now, this is now the completion of the payoff. This is now the full payoff for the orange flower, where she eats the flower, and now she is invisible to the Predator when he shows up, and murders the French trapper. She then, and also, so she has also realized that the mask that the Predator wears has the triangle the triangle sight that we all know, the laser point sight that we all know from the Predator. If he shoots his arrow, wherever he shoots his arrow, or wherever the sight is, that's where the arrow shoots, and we know that from earlier. Even if he's pointing in a completely different direction, it's going to land where the sight is pointing to.
Right.
So she axes him in the head. Mask flies off, grabs her axe, and then grabs the mask and starts running off. She's taken the fuck off, and she goes straight to the location of the mud pool.
Yes.
And then we get one of the best final battles in all of movie history. I'm saying this. I'm standing by it.
Yes.
It is the best. It is just a full on standoff.
Yeah.
1v1. It stands toe to toe with the original ending of the original Predator.
Yeah. Complete with a mud bath.
Complete with mud bath. But this time she's not covering herself in mud. She fucking kicks off a tree where she sets up a trap with sharpened stakes that fucks up the Predator a little bit. And basically by the end of it, she gets right right into a spot like right by the dam or the wood structure that she used originally to pull herself out of with the axe. She has got the predator in the mud pool, and we once again have another have the second completion of a setup, have the payoff of a setup throughout this movie. That like third the rule of threes for these two payoffs. And this is the second one where she once again says the line, "This is the end of the this is the end of the line for you. You go no further. This is it." And the mask is right off to the side, pointing straight at the predator's head. He shoots the arrow and realizes too late that the sight's right at his head. Arrow goes straight through his head, and he's dead.
But it doesn't end there.
No, she lets out a war cry. She's like a war cry, just finally, it's over. I've done it. I've done what I've set out to do. I have avenged my brother.
I have gotten my.
and I'm going to be recognized for who I am. Yeah. And she comes back. She does the exact same thing her brother did with the lion head. She brings back the predator's head, fucking severed head. Rolls it to the tribal leader, to the chief, and says, "There is danger nearby.
We need to move.
We need to move." And she is just like her brother earlier, she has declared war retreat. This time the ceremonial staff is brought by her mother. Her mother, who has been questioning why she wants to be a hunter this whole time, but now recognizes her daughter for who she is.
Yes, and. Of course, when you mentioned, I just wanted to point out that she also had the predator's blood smeared on her face because
yes, that too. God, one of the coolest things ever is the fact that the predator's blood is just neon glowing green.
Yeah,
such a beautiful little touch. Like, this is why the xenomorph and the predator are the two best alien designs of all time.
Yeah, they just are.
Yeah, like there's like they have so many elements of these two beings are so interesting and like, yeah, I love them. Everyone watch Prey. You can. It's on Hulu.
Yeah,
you can watch Prey at home. Also, while you're there, watch Hellraiser, but watch Prey.
Watch Prey first because you gotta get, because like we said, this is one of the best just modern action movies or suspense movies or whatever movie you want to call it. It is just so well paced. At night, it's only, remember, I think
it's a 100-minute movie. It's a 100-minute movie, and I think like I think it's like 5 minutes of credits.
Yeah.
So it's a 95-minute movie.
Yeah, which
it gets in and gets out.
I don't know if we said this on here or if we said this during one of our many offline conversations, but like we missed 90-minute movies.
I miss 90-minute movies. Hell, I was just talking to Paresh before we started recording. I finally watched the cinematic event of the year, Night of the Coconut, which is 89 minutes. It's so good. Everyone get Nebula so you can watch Night of the Coconut. It's so ridiculous and fun, and has a musical number from Chloe Holgate, who is the best.
So yeah, I think this was a very, and much like the movie, we're kind of just in and out of this conversation because what more could really be said about this movie? It is excellent. I'm going to be rewatching it at least twice, and
I will. In fact, I will just echo my two Letterboxd reviews about this movie. Number one, Amber Midthunder has been added to the list of people I want to just swing an axe at me. The other person on that list right now being Charlize Theron from The Old Guard.
Valid.
And my other review is I'm once again asking every casting director to just put Amber Midthunder in everything. Yeah. Put her in everything.
Yeah. Make her the new Lara Croft.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, look, she was already in a Predator movie. Give her Lara Croft. Give her own like video game adaptation of essentially an Indiana Jones movie.
All right, but
make her an archaeologist. make her an adventurer. Put her in rom-coms. Put her in a horror movie. Put her in like a straight up horror movie. I don't know. Put her in historical dramas. I don't give a fuck. Put her in everything.
Everything.
Give her her own. Make her a fucking star. God damn it. Also, go back. Also, I don't know how many people, how many listeners have seen 10 Cloverfield Lane or enjoyed 10 Cloverfield Lane. I am very much in the camp that 10 Cloverfield Lane, ending and all, is a masterpiece. Mm-hmm. I know so many people who are like, "Oh, the movie's so good," until the end. And I'm like, no. The ending is what makes the movie incredible. Like, I love the fact that like it is for the most part a tense, self-contained thriller, thriller chamber piece with 3 actors, and then 2 of them die, and Mary Elizabeth Winstead is just like kicking ass against aliens, and then is revealed like, and it's like, no, y'all, like, the movie would be incomplete without that ending. Like, there is no other ending imaginable for that movie. So, like, yeah, go back and watch 10 Cloverfield Lane. Also, go back and watch the episode of Black Mirror that he directed, Playtest, with what's his name? Kurt Russell's son.
Oh God.
God damn it, what's his name? Wyatt Russell. Wyatt Russell's in it. Go watch Playtest. Also, he has the Portal fan film, No Escape, which is really fun. So, and he directed the pilot of The Boys. Look, everything he's done is fantastic. Everything he's done. So go back, watch all of those things, and then watch them all again, and watch Prey multiple times, because it is that fucking good.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah. Also, I don't know, you might have sent this to me, or I sent this to you, but I think we both seen, there is a TikToker who does like Hollywood Mad Libs. And after Prey came out, he did one on like what should be the next Predator movie.
Yes, I was actually getting.
And it was like set it in Japan.
Yes,
I think it was like 1600s Japan or 1500s Japan, and have Hiroyuki Sanada as the main character, as like a disgraced samurai, and like, yeah, I'm like, I know this is a joke. I know all these TikToks are jokes, but this movie needs to get made. Like, because here's the thing. I love Hiroyuki Sanada. He is completely underutilized in American movies. Like, he was in, like, I think the most, he has been in at least 2 comic book movies. He was in The Wolverine, which he actually did get a lot of stuff to do in The Wolverine, but died. And he was in Avengers Endgame, where he is immediately killed by Jeremy Renner, which, come on, that is such a massive insult to be killed by Jeremy fucking Renner.
Yeah.
But he was in Sunshine, and he was great in Sunshine, and Sunshine rules so hard. Go watch Sunshine as well. Yeah, go watch Sunshine and go watch Prey. Those are that's the homework assignment from this episode.
And yeah, honestly, I was not kidding when I said that this is the standard for that every future Predator movie needs to follow. And yeah, in addition, like, give me Predator in feudal Japan, give me Predator in No Man's Land in World War One. Give me
a Western.
Give me Predator Western. Give me Predator versus Rajput warriors in India. Come on.
Like, basically just it's like, just really just like centered around a human character, and then just plop a Predator into it. That's all you got to do. Just center around an interesting human character, and then just plop a Predator in, and that Predator is now a mirror of what the main character is, and also an obstacle.
Right. And yeah, and that actually a very good point, because another thing that what elevated this movie is, like I said, is that there is a heart to it, and in this case, it was a coming of age story. So the feudal Japanese one, it was a father son kind of thing, where it was like
the mentor mentee
story. Yes. But just have some kind of basic human element to it, and plop a Predator into there, and then boom.
Yeah, and like, everyone who was like, oh, like how can someone from 300 years ago with no technology fight the Predator? Fuck you.
This is how.
Fuck you.
This is how you have your answer right here.
Yeah. You just watch the fucking movie.
Yeah.
Your question will be answered, which is very effectively.
Yes, because here's the thing.
Not immediately, mind you, not immediately.
The American education system has failed you. The indigenous peoples were much smarter than what we were led to believe in our history classes.
Yes, G.I. Joe gives you the answer. Knowing is half the battle.
Information is key. That is still the point to this day. That is still true to this day.
Yeah. So watch Prey. You can watch it at home. Should have gotten a theatrical release.
Absolutely.
Still, I'm so sad that it didn't. But go watch Prey. It's awesome. Have fun.
Yeah. Okay. I think we've fully expired all of our ideas now. So that means it is now time for plugs. JD, if the people don't know by now, where can they find you?
Well, you can find me on Twitter at JD_Martin_ because there's a lot of JD Martins out there. I have my podcast, Comics Quest, at Comics Quest Show on both Twitter and Instagram. Kind of on unintentional hiatus once again. I'm just having trouble getting back to that show. It happens. I have Fables and Reflections, which you can find on Twitter and Instagram at F&R Pod, and is spelled out with my co-host Angela Bones Bullock. Also trying to get back to that as well. It's just a process having two people who have things going on in our private lives. But a podcast that is still continuing to come out throughout the month of October has been Screaming in Woodsboro, which we don't have social media specifically for that show, but you can still follow myself and my co-host Meg Griffin, at Meg Griffin, Meg with 2 G's. We're going through the Scream franchise. As of this recording, our Scream 4 episode just came out, and we're about to record our episode on the 5th and currently final movie before we're gonna take November off and then come back in December. Our plan is to come back in December and talk about Scream the TV series. So look forward to that. And then also, as Paresh mentioned at the top of the episode, we've got a special something cooking eventually come up. We're actually getting pretty close to, we're very close to the end of that thing. We've got, I think, one more thing we got to do, and then I think we're about to announce it once we get that one thing done.
Oh yeah, for sure. But until then, you can follow us here at Busted Limes. If you want to follow the show, we are available on Twitter at Busted Limes Pod. If you want to follow me individually, I am Paresh Maharaj at Noblekind92. And if you want to follow my co-host Black Belt, you could follow him at BlackBelt1998. We are available on every single podcasting platform you could possibly think of, even Pandora. Remember Pandora? I remember Pandora.
Pepperidge Farm remembers Pandora.
But yes, the name
Speaking
of the show
of Pandora, Avatar: The Way of Water coming in December.
Oh god.
Just to remind everyone, I am sick and tired of that trailer. But Robbie is so excited for it, and I'm so happy for him.
Good for Robbie. And good for everyone who sees Prey.
Yes, much better for everyone who sees Prey.
And to everyone who has seen Prey and who has enjoyed Prey, and to JD and all of you listeners, thank you for busting a line with us.